Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my pants, putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom, explosion. Overpowering, over the competition. I'm towering, reckless.
Don't call it a comeback. Episode number 2, as promised. We're bi-weekly, and here we are again. It's Jimin Kim with who?
Rico!
How you been, Rico?
I've been doing good.
Well,
busy all day.
Busy all day. What you been doing?
I was working at the tire shop.
Let's save that for later in the podcast, because I know you have some good stories at the tire shop.
Yeah.
But, man, this is how much we love our fans. It's the evening of 4th of July. Fireworks are going outside of my house. I can hear them. I feel like my house is under fire. But what are we doing right now?
We're working on this podcast. We're catering to our fans.
Exactly. That's how much we love you guys out there. We sacrifice everything. So, I just want to start off with a few plugging. You know, we do have a lot of social media accounts, and speaking of which, our Facebook, which we launched 2 weeks ago, it's been getting a lot of love from both Rico and my friends on Facebook. And how you been with that, Rico? Like, how have your people responded to it?
They responded pretty well. What I did was I tried to invite as many friends as I can to like the page, and I got pretty good responses. One person actually congratulated me for the startup. He asked me, like, what's next for AKB, and then I told him that we were looking for a media arts manager, somebody who's good with video, so a videographer. Somebody else asked me to teach him Muay Thai classes, so I told him that if he invited all his friends on Facebook to like the page, then I would give him 2 Muay Thai classes. I haven't heard from him yet. And the third person asked me if I'm starting a fight club. So I had to explain to him what I really was doing, but he seemed very interested after I explained everything to him. So yeah, I got pretty good reviews.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone out there who are liking and following our Facebook page, and we'd love it if more of you check it out. And trust me, we're not going to stop inviting people, so we're going to get you. We're going to get you eventually. So on top of the Facebook, we also... What was that?
So one way or another.
Exactly. Another thing is we have a couple other accounts. We do have a Twitter, and our handle for that is @AllKickboxing_. @AllKickboxing_. And also an Instagram account, and that's very simple. It's @AllKickboxing. In fact, today we actually created another account from Podomatic. And Podomatic is going to be the central hub for all of our podcast streams. All of our audio content is going to be uploaded via this for now. As much as we love SoundCloud, we had to move homes because SoundCloud has a time cap. But Podomatic will do us just fine. We'll see how it goes. We might have to move homes again. We're a bunch of vagabonds here at AKB. But the link for this is Podomatic, spelled... Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry about that. That is not... I'm so professional, Rico. Rico, tell me how professional I am.
You're unprofessional.
Here it is. The link for this is allkickboxing.podomatic. That's spelled PODOMATIC.com. And I'll upload it to our social media handles through this site so you guys can check it out. Now, with all that bullshit out the way, let's get to the fun stuff. So how has your 4th of July been?
Good. Even though I didn't do anything, like, in terms of, like, going out seeing fireworks, I did have fun. At my tire shop, right next door, there's an automobile gang.
Whoa.
Yeah. They're all tatted up and shit. So they came through and they had a barbecue. So they was offering, like, free cheeseburgers, like, all day. So I've been stuffing my face with cheeseburgers, and I've been drinking on the job. But I can do it because I'm the boss's son. But yeah, so what did I have today? I had Ciroc and cranberry, and I had Jack Daniel's honey with Coke. So I've been drinking those 2 drinks all day.
Man, talk more about this gang.
Oh yeah, so you know, just like they have like motorcycle gangs, there's also like automobile gangs, I guess. And so they have their little leather jackets. And this gang is called the Inner Circle. So yeah. So what the deal is? My father like rents like land to work on his tire shop, but he like kind of like sublets like different parts of the land to like other tenants so they could start their businesses because like the amount of land that my dad is renting is big. So he rented like a little space for miscellaneous stuff. So an automobile club came through and like just rented out this place. So they come there and they have their meetings and they have their barbecues and stuff. So it's 4th of July and they came with their cars and their alcohol and their tattoos and they was having a grand old time.
That sounds like as 4th of July as it gets right there. And yeah. Damn, dude. But today was kind of funky. Weather was really bad for the longest. It was really bad. And it cleared up around 6, which is right before the fireworks. So, it's very nice. It's nice now. Breeze. Check out that breeze outside.
Yeah, the breeze is nice.
Talking about the weather all of a sudden. Okay, anywho. All right. So, what does an average day for Ricardo Jean-Pierre consist of at his tire shop? From wake up, from sun up to sundown.
Okay, so this is the average day at the tire shop. I go. Since I'm the boss's son, I show up a little bit later, but not too late. I show up to work. First thing I do is look at the sales that were made the previous day before, right? I put that into the computer. I look at the payments that we have to take care of because we usually have like certain bills where we actually have to like buy a tire because sometimes we don't have it in stock. So I take care of that. I just analyze. I just do basic accounting. I look at the bills, the expenses that come my way, and after that, I take care of the inventory, and I'm coasting usually. So on my downtime, I'm either like doing a little bit of reading or working on AllKickboxing. But a lot of time, just like hanging out at work.
You're upselling them. Isn't that what it's upselling? Is that right? Where you go into a tire shop and they're like, and just go in there for an oil check, but then next thing you know, you're leaving with spoilers, an audio system in the back, an aquarium on your hood, and you're like, how did this happen? But anywho, sounds cool, dude. Well, one of the perks of being an intern boy is that sometimes they give you days off on holidays. So I didn't have to report to my journalism internship today. I actually spent all day working for AKB and watching the World Cup. Some good games on today. Brazil, man, I don't know how big of a fan you are about soccer right now, but Brazil, man, they got some really, really controversial calls their way against Colombia today. I was a little bit peeved about that.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't get to watch the game, but I kept hearing updates about it. Didn't Neymar get injured?
He gets injured every second, like even when he's not playing.
Yeah. I heard it's like serious this time. I actually heard that he's not like finishing for the World Cup. He's not playing any more games.
I don't know about that. Come on, son. This is a kickboxing podcast. You're telling me a guy can't take... Like, watching these soccer players flop, it's so shameless. They go down at every little thing.
Hey, it's a different game.
I'll probably be the guy in the stretcher first on leaving Maracana Stadium, so I shouldn't be talking anything. But you know what? Let's get right into it. Okay, so 2 weeks ago we covered Glory 17 and Last Man Standing, and it's 2 weeks removed from then. And Rico, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so.
You did.
I told you so. So Rico and I. There it goes. That's the intro to 2 weeks ago's podcast. We did predictions, and the final tally for Jimin Kim was 7 correct to Rico's abysmal 4.
Damn.
And, let's just run down the list of what happened. Well, we went over the Simonchai Varga fight, and that was pretty exciting. I think the LA Forum was a great place to host the event, and it's nice to see a lot of American fans come out to watch kickboxing. pretty packed stadium. There's a lot of history to that place. That's where the Showtime Lakers played, and they filled it out. So Yatkampan Sinmachai actually beat, Gabriel Varga beat Yatkampan Sinmachai, and Rico and I were incorrect about that prediction, both of us.
Yeah.
Varga's pretty good. He in fact took the whole number one featherweight contender tournament. It was it was a 4-man tournament, and Varga won 2 times that night, and now he's the number one contender to take on the featherweight champion.
Nice.
And yeah, very impressive. But what I really want to get to is Andy Risty defeating Kai Hollenbeck. What'd you think about that? Did you hear about that?
I haven't seen any of the fights. What? I did see the highlight.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk to you about, because you couldn't have avoided what Risty did to Hollenbeck online.
Yeah, basically, you could fit the whole fight into the highlight. How long was it? It was like 35 seconds?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my god, he knocked him silly. Oh my god. That was ridiculous. I saw that. I couldn't. Wow.
Risty is becoming, to me, the scariest guy in that division.
Yeah.
He really, and you look at him as a non-kickboxing fan, or even a kickboxing fan really, and he doesn't strike you as a guy that packs that much of a wallop. But he took on this guy named Kai Hollenbeck, who is known for being pretty tough. Now, he's been dropped before by Giorgio Petrosian, but that's Petrosian. And no one thought Risty was going to put him on ice in the first round. He outclassed him. You know?
Yeah, he really did.
And it was set up beautifully. And I just want to stick with Andy Risty for a little bit, because I think he's a fascinating cat. I mean, he really is one of the guys that truly stands out with his unique fighting style. And actually, to be honest with you, he kind of resembles you, Rico, in the way you spar.
Oh, man, I'm blushing.
No, I'm not saying that to be... Oh, shit. No, why did I say that? No! I didn't mean it like that. What I'm trying to... Do you recognize that? Do you, see elements of your fighting style you emulate?
I try to fight very Muay Thai-ish, but I don't really, to be honest, I don't really, see how I fight, can tell, how I fight in comparison to, kickboxers. It's usually other people who tell me how I fight, and I just do. So, yeah, I try to look like them, but I don't know how well I do.
By trying to look like them, that means you just try to get, the same haircut and, the same tie pads and shit. No, nothing. Anywho, what we do at the Stony Brook Kickboxing Club is we record our sparring matches and we put them up on Facebook. So I'm such a maniac that I've probably seen all of our fights, not just mine, at least over 30 times at this point. And I try to dissect each guy's fighting style. And what I recognize about you that gives me the fits and why you were able to give me that standing 8 count is you switch stances every single time.
Yeah, I do that. I can agree. I really do switch my stances.
And it's not you throw and then you go. You're a righty, so you're standing left hand forward, left foot forward. It's not that you throw combinations from that, and then once you're done, you switch. You shift punch. And I'm not sure how you know. I'm not sure if you know that, if that is such a nuanced technique. But shift punching is very, very difficult. It's when you follow through and you switch stances mid-combination. You throw the basic jab cross. When you shift punch, you throw the cross, and actually you take your rear right foot, and then you make that your front forward foot, and then you land on it, so that you finish in a southpaw position, which gives you so many more options when it comes to attacks, and offers and forces your opponent to fight you at a different angle and readjust on the fly. And I didn't recognize you were doing it that frequently till afterwards, and I just want to get your thoughts on that.
I mean, every time I spar, and every time I hit pads, I always shift. So I'm always going left, left, right, right. So I would always do that whenever I'm sparring. At my gym, with my trainer, I do a lot of body shots. So I would switch over stances mid-attack just so I could just keep on him and get a different angle. So it's something that I've always done, and I really wasn't aware how difficult it was to pull off. But I mean, it comes so naturally to me.
Oh, shut up.
Hey, I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I know, you're good. I'm busting your balls. No, I really mean it, because I was watching myself getting manhandled with your stance switching style, and watching it as the viewer, that at that time, what I was thinking when I was fighting, I had no idea what you were doing to me. To me, it was just really, really messy in there. A lot of chaos for my brain to compute on the fly like that, because you were going from righty to southpaw, southpaw to righty. Mid-combat, it's kind of, yeah, again, Andy Risti does the same thing. Risti, he's from Cameroon, and he was trained under the great Lucien Carbine. And Lucien Carbine was the first coach for guys like Tyrone Spong, who is also a master switch hitter. And Andy Risti, he does it very well. And that is how he was able to finish Giorgio Petrosian.
True.
What'd you think about when he knocked out Petrosian like that?
It was crazy. It was very shocking how he knocked him out. And you could tell, like, the commentators were just as shocked when Andrew Risti knocked out Petrosian. And it was really unexpected. But, yeah, he's proven everybody wrong, and now he's starting to become a threat in this division. Maybe he might have a shot against Kriya again.
Definitely. I mean, who else is out there right now?
It's really...
Some guys... Yeah, I'm sorry, go on.
It's really between Risti and Kriya. I don't know anybody who could, like, stand even close to them.
Yeah. You know, some people accuse Risti of really cheating for being a guy so big and tall in that weight division. What are your opinions on people accusing him of that?
I don't think it's a very, very solid accusation. I mean, if somebody's tall, if you make the weight class, you make the weight class. I mean, there's pretty good fighters in both MMA and kickboxing that are smaller and very effective. I mean, Robin, what's his name again? Robin. He stands like 5'6", and he's very effective in that division once upon a time. But
oh no, he didn't go there. Once upon a time.
It's over for him. It's over.
No, what do you mean it's over? Jesus.
Even the last fight he won, it wasn't a finisher.
I agree. Okay, we're going off on too many tangents. Bottom line is, Rico is it's a badass. Rico's a badass. And Andy Risti had a great one-punch knockout performance against Kai Hollenbeck. And so after that was Mirko Cro Cop versus Jarrell Miller. And Cro Cop, man, he's proving all the doubters wrong. You know, I don't know, how old is he now? I'll check it out right now. But the dude, he's getting up there in age. A lot of people thought it was over for him when he left the UFC. But he just defeated this young, up-and-coming kickboxer called Jarrell Miller, who has a really solid boxing background and really just schooled him in the kickboxing game. You know, there was never a moment in that fight where I thought Cro Cop didn't have control. And, you know, it went to decision, but at the same time, Cro Cop, I'm so happy to see him throw those left high kicks again. And I think a lot of that had to do with because in the UFC he had to worry so much about all the other variables that stifled his striking. But in Glory, man, I think he's gone. It's great. If this is the way he wraps up his career, it'd be a nice little bow on it, going back to his roots and succeeding. And so that was that. But then we also had, of course, the Last Man Standing tournament. The first fight, Artem Levin defeated Alex Pereira. There's really nothing more to say about that other than Levin really is a sharp striker, man. He fights in this Dutch kickboxing style where it's very boxing heavy, and at the same time, there was the commentators, Duke Rufus was saying that Russian fighters, the way they throw their punches is mechanically a little different. At the very end of the impact, they snap their wrist forward. So it forces their opponent. Yeah, it's very interesting. Have you seen Levin fight? What do you think about his style?
He really bombs the weave a lot, doesn't he, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he really does that a lot, and I mean, his fighting style is very, very interesting. He likes to lean in, am I correct?
Yeah, he has a very solid boxing movement base.
And I didn't know much about Artem Levin, and I thought that would be bad for him, but apparently he did a very good job with his fighting style. And let me continue about the snapping when you punch.
Yeah.
I haven't really tried it, but yeah, I have heard that it's very effective, and it can really add to knockout power if you snap your wrist as soon as you punch. A person that really teaches that is I think it's Winklejohn.
Yeah, Mike Winklejohn.
Yeah, he definitely tells his fighters whenever you punch, you gotta snap your wrist. And John Jones actually strikes like that, so that's just something I want to mention. But yeah, Artem Levin, yeah, I mean his fighting style is very interesting. He bobs and weaves. He's almost unstoppable. I mean, he didn't really knock anybody out, but he really did run clinics on everybody. So that was pretty good. And you were right.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't really bet money on this.
Nah, I don't roll like that. Money, please. I will take a few tires though.
Knock yourself out.
You got some Hanguk tires there?
What happened?
You got some?
I think we do.
Of course. Yeah, Hanguk. Are they good? Are they good tires?
Hanguk tires?
Yeah.
I'm not a expert on tires, but I mean they're alright.
Yeah, that was a silly.
I'm just there to help out my father with the management and the accounting part of it. But I'm not necessarily the tire expert.
You just put on one wheel's a Goodyear, the other's a Michelin.
Yeah.
One's a Toyo, the other one's from Fairtex and shit.
Fairtex tires.
Everlast tires.
Oh man.
So let's just skip to the juicy parts of what in this tournament. We're boring everyone out there. Joe Schilling versus Simon Marcus. Oh my goodness. For those of you who haven't seen this, please watch it. It's one of the best fights, not just in kickboxing, but of all combat sports this year. Joe Schilling and Simon Marcus both drop each other. They go to war. And in the sudden death victory round, whatever you want to call it, the fourth extra round, Schilling did what, Rico?
Knocked him out.
No, he didn't just knock him out. Mama said knock you out.
He knocked him. He knocked him to another dimension. He was gone.
He hit him.
The sudden death.
Yeah, exactly. Schilling hit Simon Marcus so hard that it flew out his mouthpiece into the front row.
Oh man!
And it was one of those falling tree knockouts where the guy is cold before he even touches the ground.
Oh my god!
You could hear the squeaking, as if And he set it up beautifully. Schilling again did this, battered and bruised, tired as hell. He actually lured Marcus, a very aggressive Marcus, who was actually in desperation mode after the referee took away a point because he was slipping. He's letting his mouthpiece come out so much. He was constantly losing. Yeah. And so to get that point back in the sudden victory round, Simon Marcus rushes at him, and Schilling sees that coming. So he walks back, literally Schilling, in the middle of this chaos, just does a gentle stroll back, like he's walking in the park, and he does what you do, a switch stance from the southpaw, right hook, right over the top. It was beautiful. He baited him completely.
Nice.
Yeah, he was going for a walk on the carnival, and Simon Marcus attacked him, went mad dog, and then Schilling, kablam, it was over. It's brutal, dude. And it's hard to see a guy make his debut in Glory World Series like that. Simon Marcus, that is.
It'll happen. I mean, he'll come back, but yeah, that was very demoralizing to get knocked out like that. And you said he was playing with his mouth guard.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You said Simon Marcus was letting his mouth guard come out a few times?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Schilling took care of that.
Yeah, Rico, all these one-liners you have for these fighters and it's like a T-shirt. It's like Joe Schilling took care of that. But you ever have problems with your mouth guard and it falling out when you're training?
The only time I had a problem with my mouth guard falling out was when I sparred with you. Was it with you I was sparring?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I had the headgear, and then I was trying to breathe because I couldn't move my mouth, and then the mouth guard would just pop out my mouth. But that was the only time I had issue with the mouth guard. Other than that, I think the mouth guard is a godsend. Because apparently when I spar, I like to play with my tongue. I stick my tongue out like I'm Michael Jordan, and I just like bite down on my tongue. So I need the mouth guard.
And it really, you only have the top set of your teeth, right? The ones that only cover the top.
Repeat?
You know how some mouth guards, you got the ones that cover both the bottom and the top set of your teeth?
I only have the one that covers the top.
Yeah, because like I bought the ones that just cover the top too, because I can't imagine breathing out of that apparatus that's like clogging your mouth like that. But yeah, that's, you don't want to do that. So, and we'll wrap it up with the final match of this tournament. It was Wayne Barrett and Artem Levin, and it's kind of sad. They were talking about this in the match, how Artem Levin really was so dominant against the opponents leading up to that championship match that he was more or less unscathed coming in. Very small, yeah. Remember, they each had to fight 3 times that night, and Levin comes in completely fresh. He, in fact, preserved his legs. He actually didn't kick for the first few fights because he knew his shins would get battered, and used them on Joe Schilling at the end. And like I said, Schilling went through a war with Marcus, and then another one with Wayne Barrett. Arguably a fight I thought Barrett should have won on the judges' scorecards, which says a lot about him, making that 2 wins against Schilling for Barrett. That's huge. But anywho, it's sad to see fighters lose before the fight even happens because of previous damage. What are your thoughts on the tournament style in general?
I mean, this is like their first 8-man tournament. And I was thinking, oh my God, this is going to be some hardcore stuff. But I think it was pretty fine. I mean, this is the first 8-man tournament that's on pay-per-view for Glory World Series. And yeah, it was spectacular. I mean, it really like stole the show. And as a matter of fact, I think Glory Kickboxing is starting to be more action-packed as compared to these MMA matches, because of the way they set up their fights and the tournament style. It's like it's really enthralling.
Yeah, you think the tournament style is something that's just for the fans? Meaning, if you come down, when it comes down to it, it's necessarily not the best way to figure out who the best fighter in the world is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because like in Schilling's case, he shouldn't have been fighting Artem Levin of all people after fighting 2 guys before, just a few hours in between. You know, like it's... But nothing's more, like you said, enthralling than seeing, like the title says, the last man standing. You know?
I mean, I was reading an article from Fightland. It wasn't written by Jack Slack. It was written by somebody else. And I guess it was like his first kickboxing experience, watching like professional fights. And basically what he said was that kickboxers are true warriors, and that they go out there and they will fight not just one fight, but like multiple fights in one night. And it's in terms of like these kickboxing tournaments, there's a little bit of chance that comes into play. If Joe Schilling finished his fights earlier, he probably would have stood a better chance against Artem Levin. But he was worn out. He really he had to fight Simon Marcus. He had to drag himself through Wayne Barrett, and then fight Artem Levin at the end. I mean, it was very difficult for him, and we have to give it up to Joe Schilling for his stamina and his willpower throughout all those fights.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Schilling now. You know, Schilling to me has become the American savior of American kickboxing. You know what I'm saying? For the longest time, kickboxing has been considered to be a very European and very Eastern sport, where all the fans were over there, all the best fighters are over there. But Schilling has really been the flag bearer for spreading the movement in the stateside.
True.
You know, and Glory knows it too. They're pushing this guy like hell, and rightfully so. Him and Wayne Barrett, man. That's a trilogy. They're gonna fight again. They have to, because that was a great match.
Oh, they definitely will.
Yeah. Let's just hope by the end of it we still have 2 American guys out there and they don't just end up destroying each other.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
You heard what Wayne Barrett said about after the tournament?
What do you say?
He said that after his first loss, he's not leaving any fight to the judges.
See, that statement, you know how like Dana White sometimes says, you shouldn't have left it in the hands of the judges, or it's your fault for leaving it in the hands of the judges. That I think is such a cop-out. That is a cop-out statement to address how egregious, how terrible the judging out there is in MMA, and sometimes even in kickboxing. And I don't think a fighter should have that burden of not letting it go to the judges' scorecards.
Yeah.
Sometimes, man, it's not because either guy is unwilling to finish. It's because they're on top of their game, at the top of the stack of the division. They nullify each other's skills.
Yeah.
So, and the event ended with Daniel Guida versus Rico Verhoeven. We were both correct about this prediction. We both said Rico was going to win, and he did. Great fight, and he really had to earn it because Guida, he tattooed the side of Verhoeven with his kicks. It was battered and bloody, like he went paintballing afterwards. But he's really showing me, he's really impressing everyone, man. He's only, 23 or something? Extremely young kid.
Yeah, he's pretty young. I think he's 24.
That's why they call him
I'm not sure. The Prince of Kickboxing.
Why do I love it when you call him that?
That's what he calls himself. I'm just saying.
But he's 6'5", man.
No, he's an animal.
And most heavyweights in kickboxing, they kind of have a little flab on them, except for a handful of guys like Peter Urs was always yoked. Mirko Cro Cop was pretty big, but for the most part, they're a little pudgy. But Verhoeven, he's built like a light heavyweight. He's very, very cut.
Yeah.
Young.
He's very cut.
So he's at the top of that heavyweight stack. So that's it for Glory. And I'm really looking forward to their next event. I know that they're going to have Nikki Holtzkin take on Bazooka Joe Valtellini. That's the up. What do you think about that matchup? Because Valtellini just won his fight in Last Man Standing.
Holtzkin beat Valtellini last time, right?
He knocked him out.
Knocked him out, yes, I remember that fight. Oh, I don't know. And Nikki Holtzkin just came out of an injury. So,
yeah.
I really don't know. I'm gonna have to give it. I might give it to the Bazooka Joe.
But in this last fight he had with DeBont, he really should have lost that. DeBont rocked him with a flying knee in round 4 out of 5. Yeah, it was crazy. Bazooka Joe was winning clearly all through that. But in the 4th round, after Valtellini dropped DeBont with a head kick, DeBont comes back to land a flying knee, rocks him silly. But then in round 5, Valtellini still couldn't regroup, and he was pretty much spending round 5 just trying to survive in survival mode. I definitely thought DeBont should have won. But granted, Valtellini Holtzkin is a more compelling matchup.
Yeah, it is. Was that the knee that messed up his eye? Because I didn't see that fight.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it was like someone took an axe to it.
Oh man.
Man, what are your thoughts on because you and I, we spar, we have all the shin guards and everything. We don't throw elbows, right? But what are your thoughts on you perhaps one day getting in like an amateur fight and getting cut?
Ooh, I mean, I got a pretty face. I don't wanna
The Prince of Kickboxing, right?
Yeah. I'm cute. I really don't want to get cut, but I mean, I'm going to do everything that I can to defend against it. But I mean, when it's in the heat of the moment, you try not to think about it too much. But I know once I get cut and I'm in the middle of a fight, I wouldn't care no more. I'm just going to keep fighting and fighting harder. That's what I would like to think. But oh my God, I dread getting a scar over my head or getting cauliflower ears. Those two things, a scar over my head and cauliflower ears. I don't want neither of them.
Heard that. I mean, you know what they say about scars is that the ones on your forehead, they go away over time. They just fade with age. But the problem is, because it's scar tissue, it's just going to open up for the rest of your life a lot easier than other parts on your body.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's the problem with it. And as far as cauliflower ears go, a lot of guys, they just don't even bother maintaining the way their ear looks normally, because you have to take a syringe to it after every jiu-jitsu roll or wrestling session and drain out all the stored up, this is gross, all the stored up blood in there with a syringe.
Yeah, they don't do that. I don't get it. They think it's cool. They think it's a badge of honor.
Yeah, it's great. What was that?
I personally wouldn't want the cauliflower ears, but yeah, I mean, it's something that you could really prevent, like you said, but they'd rather just let it grow.
Yeah, man. Well, that's it for Glory World Series. Now let's move on to this ridiculous. Tomorrow night's fight is Chris Weidman versus Lyoto Machida, and I don't know about you, but I'm very excited for this.
I am excited. I am going to the nearest bar. I'm going to watch this fight. I'm not missing it.
Where do you plan on going?
I might go to Studio Square. It's a bar in Astoria, Queens.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a pretty nice place, and I know every fight fan's going to be there.
I mean, think about this, man. Chris Weidman, for those of you who, I'm sure everyone knows, but for the very few who might not know, Chris Weidman is born and raised in Long Island, and he is right now the UFC middleweight champion after having defeated decisively Anderson Silva, the great Anderson Silva, twice in a row. Like wrap your head around that, man. You know how busy that Buffalo Wild Wings is gonna be tomorrow night when a Long Island guy is fighting to defend his championship? Like, that is insane.
Yeah.
Hometown hero.
A lot of Brazilians are gonna come out to that bar because a lot of Brazilians did come out for the Weidman and Silva fight. So it's probably gonna be half and half where I'm going.
Yeah, man. Well, let's just quickly talk about this fight. First of all, who do you got?
Oh my God, I really don't know. I really don't know. I might have to give it to Weidman. I don't know. But then again, Weidman even himself said that Machida is probably a better striker than Anderson Silva because of Machida's style of striking.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to talk about both of their fighting styles because it's a great matchup. Machida, he comes from a traditional karate background. His father is actually Japanese. His mother's Brazilian. And he trains right now in San Diego, Southern California, I believe, at King's MMA. But he was born and raised in Brazil. But anywho, he brings to the octagon a very unique style that frustrates a lot of guys. And people have said that, okay, the puzzle that is Machida has been cracked because he's been cracked. He's gotten knocked out before. But I think he's I can't even talk right now. Jesus Christ. He's evolved as a fighter, especially after dropping down to middleweight from fighting at light heavyweight for the longest time. He poses to these 185-pounders a huge problem, a much bigger. He retained his speed and certainly his power, dropping down a weight class, and very interesting traditional karate style that's modified for mixed martial arts. I'm not saying he's out there trying to land spinning tornado kicks or axe kicks all the time, but he'll take certain elements from that karate game, like front snap kicks, which he landed on UFC Hall of Famer Randy Couture. What do you think about that?
That was amazing. I mean, people started to like doubt karate and some of these martial arts and MMA, saying that they're unpractical and they're just fancy and they don't work in real fighting settings. But Machida just proved it wrong. And karate practitioners have somebody to look up towards now. It was amazing. And from the way it looked, it was like such a slow motion kick too. I mean, it wasn't like so fast. And he just nailed him.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I wish I could. I wonder if I could pull off kicks like that in my Muay Thai bouts. Like just throw like a crescent kick.
It's the last thing they'll expect, right?
Yeah, I'll do anything to win a fight.
We're starting to see that in Glory, where pretty much because Glory is the top echelon of kickboxers, they have solid traditional Muay Thai techniques. Low kicks, round kicks, everything. So they're starting to supplement their already complete kickboxing game with these little techniques, with these little moves that work from these more traditional vintage martial arts. Because why not? They have the time to practice and refine these new moves, like turning back kicks. Did you see the one? What's his name? Daniels, the crazy spinning back heel kick to the face he landed on. Raymond Daniels, right?
This wasn't Glory 17, the last man. It was before.
Yeah. Remember?
I saw that.
Man,
I saw that.
There's a fighter that fights for Glory now. He's a Taekwondo champion, North American Taekwondo champion, and he landed probably, some people say, the knockout of the century. He did a spinning back heel kick to the face, and it was all in midair. He jumped at the guy. He tapped him to the chest with really a front snap kick, but it was just to disguise the turn that came afterwards, and then that's when he landed his right heel to the face. It was beautiful, like tap, tap, bang! You have to see it to believe it, but Raymond Daniels, that's probably all you need to put it on YouTube for it to pop up, but you're starting to see guys realize all these moves, like a monkey paw or like a dragon tail whip or something isn't going to really work. It's not going to necessarily translate well in the octagon, but what Machida does, it's really good.
Yeah.
He's not a drunken boxer.
He's not.
So, who do you think has the better striking here?
Oh, between Machida and Weidman?
Yeah.
Machida hands down.
You say hands down.
I mean, because of his elusiveness, I've got to say, it's because of his elusiveness. I have to give it to Machida. I mean, he used concept of distance to a whole new level, and that's what I've read. I think Jack Slack has written about Machida and how he uses the concept of distance. This style of striking is they don't stay within the box and trade blows with whoever they're fighting. They really try to stay out of range and cover distance, attack, then retreat. If the other person's retreating, they'll move forward and attack. So you're going to see a lot of that. And Weidman, I think he's good with his striking, but I mean, he was good enough to catch Anderson Silva, but I don't think he's going to be that good at catching Machida when he's trying to get away from his strikings, and he's gonna have a harder time taking him down.
You bring up
if they get into the clinch, then Machida might be in trouble.
Yeah, you bring up a great point about Machida's really mastery of distance. He controls the range, and how he does that is again with his very unique karate style, that in and out movement. He doesn't hold his hands even the same way. He keeps his hands more or less towards the center of mass, and that's so he can use his hands as counterweight so he can move around easier, faster. It's like the difference between, you know how an NFL running back, when he's about to take off and when he's juking, he doesn't keep his hands high like near his face? That's because you need those hands to shift your body weight to one side, the other, pull and push, and really shift your momentum around. And Machida does that really well. And if you're going to pull off a low-handed stance like that, you have to have a mastery of range, and that's what he has. And what's interesting is, you made that Anderson Silva comparison. What Anderson Silva lacked was the ability to draw guys in to land his incredible counter shots without having to clown them. That was his only way of having guys engaged, was make him angry by taunting, dropping his hands, all that stuff that we saw, that we love him for so much for doing, some of us.
Yeah.
And that is a huge detriment when the only way you can impose your game plan is through a form of clowning. And to guys that don't bite on that, like really what Chris Weidman did very job in their first fight of maintaining his composure, Anderson Silva wasn't able to do what he does best. But Machida, man, he has the exact same style. He is a counter striker. Did you see his knockout against Ryan Bader?
I think I did.
Oh my gosh. Jeez. I mean, any Machida fight you see this in. But this one guy named Ryan Bader, he was fighting Machida back when they were both in light heavyweight. And Bader, if you look at him next to Machida, you think he's going to eat him. But Machida controlled the distance so well, flicked that jab constantly in Bader's nose. Bader got frustrated at how much Machida was landing and pulling back that he, with reckless abandon, charged at him face first, and Machida caught him with a really short right straight and knocked him out on the spot. He Bader crumbled on the spot. He lost consciousness, much like the Simon Marcus knockout. He just crumbled his body, and he landed like on his feet, like his butt landed. Anywho, so that's what he does. He frustrates guys not by taunting, but through simple understanding of distance, movement, and great shots from the outside with his kicks. What is that? You know, that's that left step knee he does.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, you know that's hard to land, man. When we're sparring, I tried that one time, and unless you know where the other guy is, that long step knee is really hard.
Yeah, it really is hard.
Have you ever gotten a guy clean with that?
I think once with Jeremy.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
It's a great technique, and but Weidman, like I said, man, I think in the power department, he has more like American muscle.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
He does.
But he's gonna have to catch Machida. So how do you see this fight going? Give me just your rundown, like a play-by-play.
First round, Machida's going to lose distance. Biden might not be so frustrated in the beginning because I think he's expecting this. I think Machida might control it. But I think later on, if Weidman gets with the clinch, probably like the second or third round, Machida might be in trouble. But to be honest, this is one of the fights I really don't know who's going to win. I mean, who do you think is going to win?
I have Weidman.
You have Weidman also?
I think I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to a decision. You know?
Yeah. It might go to a decision.
The most likely outcome is Weidman eventually, I think, is going to catch Machida. He's going to take him down, and then from there, it's going to be really interesting because both guys have high-level jiu-jitsu. Machida, to be honest, but hasn't shown a lot of offense off of his back because he's never really had to fight off of his back. But Weidman, we know what he can do off his back, and especially on top, just dropping down those hammers. Did you see what he did to Silva?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, it was bad.
You know what Weidman said in the rematch when he was in the clinch with Anderson, after Anderson engaged him in the clinch, and threw that right overhand over Silva's shoulder and really knocked him out there. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. He was knocked out.
He was not. He went to his sleep. Like you saw his eyes closed. He was trying to nap. Yeah. It was strange because it didn't look like the hardest shot, but it was right behind the ear. It lets you know how powerful Weidman is to not just knock guys out in the clinch, but to make Anderson's clinch lose all of its controlling ability. You know? And then Weidman actually said that when he pounced on Silva after dropping him like that, after he landed the first big right, he thought he knocked him out.
As a matter of fact, Weidman said that he gave him I think a third or fourth punch, and one of those punches woke him back up.
Man,
yeah. In one of his interviews, he said that he was out when he was punching him, and he said that he thought the referee was going to come in and stop the fight, and he kept hitting them. And he said that there was one more from Dave, and then Silva just got back up and then started defending himself.
What are your thoughts on that, guys? The whole dynamic of how a knockout works physically through the human body. Do you think it's possible to wake a guy back up?
I think it's possible.
I really think it's possible. It's possible to be knocked out and then just come back into consciousness like within a few seconds.
We saw that with Pat Barry versus Czech Congo, remember?
I didn't see that fight.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it's strange. Some guys, what they say is when you get dropped and you're a striker, if that's your base, then the first reaction you're going to have is what your body feels comfortable doing, is striking. If a wrestler gets cracked, the first thing his body's instinctively going to go to is the shot, takedown. I believe in that, but waking a guy back up, that's very interesting. We still don't know exactly what makes guys tick when it comes to like when you have a glass chin or not. No one really knows what that actually is all about.
Yeah.
They say that boxing trainers, when they go out and when they go out and scout guys for their gym, they pick kids that have stocky necks and really large faces.
Oh, you know what I read actually?
What?
The other day, I have to go off into a tangent because this is so interesting because you just brought that to mind. They said that the reason, from an evolutionary standpoint, that men look different from women is that men used to get to a lot of more fist fights. And that because of this, men's lower jaw and like skin features are different than that of women's.
Hey Rico, you know your Skype connection is a little bit like you're going in and out.
Really? Am I choppy?
Did you change locations?
Yeah, I did change locations.
Go back to where you were before. I think your connection's stronger there.
But yeah, as I said before, that from an evolutionary standpoint, it's different than women because men got into more fist fights as compared to women, and their lower jaw evolved to be more suitable for taking a hit.
Yeah, I don't know. Jesus, dude, fucking alienating our female fans out there. What are you doing?
I mean,
I'm joking. I'm kidding. Yeah, I know. You know what they say is that the entire human jaw of the Homo sapien in general is an evolutionary defect, male or female. Like how our jaw has this hinge function to it. How it's really a separate apparatus from the rest of our skull. It just really dangles, and that allows us to chew and talk. Very important. Really, the only reason why we're on top of the food chain is because we can communicate. But the drawback is it shifts left and right. So that's why they call it the button, a la Joe Schilling, Simon Marcus. You tap that thing, your jaw shifts one way, and it sends shockwaves down your whole spine and into your brain.
That's very true.
You know what they say about Neanderthals? They say...
What is it?
Hey, Rico, can I ask one thing, man?
Sure.
You know back when you were walking to get to this spot you're talking from now?
Mm-hmm.
It was actually better there.
Okay, I'll go back.
Yeah. But they say that Neanderthals, you couldn't knock them out. It was physically impossible because their jaws were completely stuck onto the rest of the skull. It was just one solid mass of bone. So it would be like, essentially hitting a Neanderthal in the jaw would be like hitting a normal person's forehead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But they say guys that are built like really kind of us, like long necks and like more or less like soft chins, we're not that good to take. Anywho, I don't want to talk about our little weaknesses. Left hook, son! You can't take my left hook still.
I got stunned the other day. It's fine.
Well, really?
Yeah.
What happened?
There's this kid, he's Chinese, and he's very into boxing. I don't know why he's in the gym. He's a Muay Thai class, but all he cares about is boxing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know why he joined, because we had a Groupon deal, and he was taking advantage of that. So so after class, he's like, score, boxing only. I'm like, okay, fine. I guess I need a box to get my boxing game up, right?
Yeah.
And then one of the head instructors was there. And when he tells us to spar, basically, he tells us to fight, right? So he goes, okay, we have 30 seconds left, fight. The guy, he gave me like a jab. He threw a jab, but he missed the jab, right? like stopped light before my face, and then he just came to the right straight, and it hit me on my cheek, and everything just went like black. Boom! I really got stunned, but I still knew what was going on. I'm like, oh my god! And it didn't hurt. Everything just went black for a second, and then like everything in me just switched. And I'm like, oh my! If I don't fight, I might get dropped right here in front of everybody. And then like we started just like swinging at each other.
Damn. So was this the first time you've ever been hit like that?
No, not the first time I've ever been hit like that.
Oh, okay.
Other time I've been hit like that, when I was doing like the fight club thing, and then somebody was mounting me like throwing punches at my head, and then I saw stars. Like you see those flashes, but I never been knocked out unconscious, so I haven't had an experience yet.
That's a good one experience you really don't want.
Yeah.
Rico, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Would you be cool if I send you another video call if we reset?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, because I think it might solve the problem. So 1 second. I'll send it to you right away, okay? This is what oh, Jesus. This is one of the things when you're a startup. Trying to get all the technical difficulties together. Alright, let's see. Talk. I think it's a lot better now. Yo, Rico?
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. It's a lot clearer.
What happened was my mom got up. She was sleeping in her room, and last time I had the podcast in her room, right?
Yeah.
And I was in the living room, and then my mom comes into the living room and starts cleaning, and I can't tell her, hey, what you doing? So yeah, I'm like a nomad now. I'm just walking all over the place. Have you heard? Didn't you hear any like ruffling plastic before?
Yeah, I heard a lot of noises, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. This podcast is like, oh my god.
It's all good. This is what happens, man. We just gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even trying to make a pun there. But right now, I'm seeing you on Skype, and you look like you're filming the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, come on.
There's no lights in the room wherever you're in, and you're just looking at me through the camera. I think we're better now, though. Quality is a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay,
How
cool.
many minutes have we been going for?
One more time?
How many minutes have we been going for so far?
5 max. Yeah, maybe I should have kept it a little lower, but I was hoping it would improve eventually, but it didn't, so I had to hit the button. Anywho, okay, back to the fight. God damn, this podcast is almost unsalvageable now.
I know.
What happened? We're doing so well. All right, and for those of you who are still sticking around with the patience and listening to us, God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much. But
we'll get better podcasts in the future.
yeah, we will definitely iron out the kinks. But as far as we're talking about Chris Weidman and the clinch and almost finishing Silva. Well, okay, so I think a lot of people when it comes to beating guys who seem like they're impossible to beat, the way you do it, I think, is very counterintuitive. It's actually fighting fire with fire and beating them at their game, what they're the best at the very least nullifying it. And that's saying a lot when you're fighting a guy like Machida. But what Chris Weidman has to do is do enough with his striking to nullify Machida's arguably superior striking to do what he does best, which is excel at taking the fight down to the ground. And in fact, you can apply that same principle to Jose Aldo. This is an article I read about Jack Slack. I got to give all the props to him because he's tremendous. And he said, and he said how really to beat Aldo is to fight with them standing up. And that sounds like career suicide, but his worst nightmare, Aldo's worst nightmare, is a good wrestler who can not only check leg kicks, but throw leg kicks of his own on Aldo to where it wears him down and allows him to shoot in when Aldo doesn't expect it. Very much using your wrestling as an invisible threat, a la GSP. One of the things about what Rico and I do that we don't have to worry about is the other guy grabbing at our legs. And
yeah, definitely.
I can't imagine trying to stand up with a guy and the other guy has this always ace in his sleeve of just trying to take it to his world on the floor, you know?
We should try it sometime. We should actually start, like, semi-MMA to see how it works.
Start headbutting and shit.
Oh, no, that's not headbutting.
Fuck you, Rico! I'm the co-founder!
Pulling out weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, let's say you take this for another podcast. But I used to watch these guys. It's called the Dog Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And they practice Filipino martial arts. And they basically wear nothing but like a fencing mask and swing sticks at each other.
Oh, is that called eskrima?
It's eskrima, but they take it to a whole other level.
Man.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they will like swing sticks at each other. And it's like somebody drops the stick, the fight still goes on. So they will like throw kids do full MMA. It's ridiculous. As a matter of fact, I can post maybe I'll post the video up, but I'll definitely send it to you so you can see it later.
Nice, man. So we'll see what happens in this fight, but it's interesting to see Weidman defend his title for the first time, really. That rematch he had against Silva, I never really looked at as a title defense. I looked at that as another title contender fight for Weidman. Because no one thought that first win was, not no one, but a lot of people thought it was a fluke. But you know what happened after that second fight. There was no fluke about that.
You know, there's still some people out there calling it a fluke because, like, oh, he broke his leg. He didn't break his leg. But, I mean...
No, dude, come on.
He was knocked out in the clinch. I saw that clearly. When I saw the knockout during the clinch when I was watching the fight, I'm like, oh, no. It's over.
You know, I was making this comparison with my friend when we were watching the soccer game today, and I don't know if you know, but Spain, who has been this powerhouse in the international scene for years now, they won the last World Cup. The Spanish club FC Barcelona, which is essentially the Spanish national team, had been sweeping all the championships for the past couple of years, but recently what's been happening is they've fallen off. Spain, the country, they dropped out in the opening stage of the World Cup to some kind of like lackluster teams, and now their club FC Barcelona is doing poorly, and what a lot of people are saying is people just figured out their style. Eventually, people just put the puzzle together and they figured out how to beat them. And if that happens in soccer, that happens in fighting at a faster pace. There's no sport that evolves faster than fighting because literally your consciousness is on the line.
That's true.
And think about it, dude. You think guys that for years have tried to take the throne from Anderson, their coaches haven't been studying his tapes like a madman? It was a matter of time before people figured out that Silva is strongest when you press the action, when you let him come to you, which he's only done he's only done that to memory twice, and it's worked out very well for him. And that's a credit to Silva because very well-rounded striker. He did it against Dan Henderson when he not knocked him out, but head kicked him, dropped him, and then choked him out. That's when he engaged. He also did that at the end of first round against Yushin Okami when he landed that head kick. But most often than not, like against Chris Weidman, against Forrest Griffin, Silva picks you apart with his counter strikes and his clinch. Like when Silva wants to get when he wants to be a mean son of a bitch, he clinches you up and throws those knees. But against Weidman, too big, too strong, just broke out of it and landed that right straight. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Machida, this is his third fight at middleweight. He's looked very good in his previous two fights. Knocked out Mark Munoz with a head kick through the glove. Did you see that shit?
I see the highlight again. It was a bad game.
Oh no, Rico, you're starting to sound like auto-tune again. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, you're recording it, but yeah, you sound choppy also. I
sound choppy too?
Yeah, I have. It was going and my connection is tripping.
Ah, shit. What do you want to do? You want me to call you back? Is this where is this where you were recording when we started the podcast?
When we started the podcast, from
Yeah, when we started, you know where you were?
Yeah, I know where I was.
Of course you did. It's your house. I'm such an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm such a dick. No, but can you go back there?
Okay, I'll go back there. Where I started the podcast today is actually further from the round, which is funny. Yeah, I can't go there. My mom was there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Rico's he's on a journey and he's finding new shit in his house that he didn't know he had right now because he's trying to find like good connection. Like childhood toys. Like, oh shit, I still have this.
Oh look, it's Anderson Silva's career. Let me stop. wait till we become what you call it, more famous. These players are gonna come after me for talking so much smack.
Yeah, did you realize that during this podcast I actually called out Dana White? Do you realize?
Yes, you did.
I can't believe I did that. What am I trying to do? Not work for the UFC in the future? Let's be honest here. Like they'll take me. Nah, that'd be a dream gig. Dana White, I love you. Please don't take what I said to heart. Disclaimer. Or you know what? Let me recall. I'm gonna call you again on Skype. Okay?
All right.
Oh, Jesus. Man, AKB, the definition of perfection. Alright, let's see. How are we? We're good?
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what to... I'm all out of options, dude. Wait, keep on talking? I think we're good.
We're live, okay.
Alright, cool. Alright, okay. So, yeah, man. So what Machida, there's a lot, man, we've been on this fight for a long ass time, but there's so many like dimensions and angles to it. That's fascinating. Machida to me, do you realize his track record in his past couple of fights? Let me just run it down for you. It's really impressive. So after he got choked out by John Jones, he knocks out Ryan Bader in round 1, beats Dan Henderson, loses to Phil Davis, but he really should have gotten the judge's call on that. Knocks out Mark Munoz, beats Gegard Mousasi, and is fighting Chris Weidman. That is, in my opinion, 5 straight wins against top-notch talent in a row.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah, Weidman does have a run for his money.
Yeah, I mean, Machida, he's reinvented himself in this new weight division. What are your thoughts on guys? Because a lot of people say that this is the weight class Machida should have been fighting at the whole time, 185.
So you want to know what my thoughts are?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the idea of cutting weight? I walk around at 145. How much you walk around at?
I walk around at if I'm being healthy, I walk around at 145.
By health, why aren't you healthy? Like junk food and shit?
In Stony Brook, you know how much I was weighing?
How much were you weighing?
I stepped on the weight scale, and I weighed 160.
Jesus Christ, you monster! You're like a fat chick.
It was ridiculous. I was 5'6", and I was walking around at 160. I came back from Stony Brook. I travel everywhere on my bicycle, right? Mm-hmm. So I would go from my house to the gym, and that's like a 35-minute commute. I would ride my bike to work. That's like another 35-minute commute, depending how fast I'm riding. I don't have as much access to Wendy's and the Ross Cafe or all the Chinese food I would eat every day, and in a couple of weeks, I stepped on the weight scale, and I swear, it was like 148.
Nice.
And now I'm like around like 145.
Was that the most drastic weight gain to weight cut in your whole life?
I think it is the most drastic weight cut. I was so shocked, like, when I was in Stony Brook, and I found out I was like 160, I'm like, what is going on?
You know, in other words, now you have stretch marks.
Stretch marks. I stretch marks all over my legs. I need to buy the lotion to rub my legs.
Come on, man. Just tough it out like a man. You know, don't worry, dude. They're like fucking, they're battle scars. You know, just be proud of your stretch marks. They're a part of you now. They'll never go away. No matter how much aloe vera you put on.
Oh man, it's all about the cocoa butter. The cocoa butter taking the
But at one time in Stony Brook, my freshman year, I went up as high as 145. And I weigh 140 now, but this was when I was younger. And I went from 145 to 125 in a month. And you know how?
25?
Come on, man. This was when I was younger. Don't worry, I'm not anorexic or anything. But
Oh,
yeah, I went from Jose Aldo weighing in to Demetrius Johnson on fight night.
oh my god.
And how I did that was I worked retail, and during lunch breaks, I didn't really have time to eat a lot, eat lunch or pack lunch or anything like that before because I'm a lazy. But no, it's because I'd work every day. And this was during Christmas season. They would call me every single time. So I drank these nutritional shakes like Boost or Ensure.
I know what you're talking about.
And you eat that, and that fills your system up so well, you just go to sleep on it, and you wake up 20 pounds lighter in a month. And this is not the Dolce diet. This is not the South Beach diet. I don't recommend this to any of our listeners. Please, don't do what I did.
Giving diet advice. Just don't eat.
Okay, and what was that?
Tell people just don't eat.
Yeah. Just water and oxygen. That's what you do. Man, but that's how I lost it. Like, the only times I really lost weight when I've gained a lot was through these barbaric, just not thought out through ways. I did that, and when I was in middle school, I was a chubby little 5th grader taking piano lessons. And you know how I lost weight then? You know how I lost, like, probably the same amount at when I was 13 or 12? Same shit. Same shit. I used to go to the Plainview local gym games, like the school organized, the PAL is called, and that was my meal in the locker room, was like gulp gulp gulp, and sure, strawberry, chocolate, whatever, and I lost my weight and stuff. But again, I don't know how to diet properly, obviously.
Oh man, you're better than me because I would have the Ensure chocolate and the vanilla, and go and eat a meal right after it.
Use that as a milkshake.
Basically, I never lost weight drinking Ensure because I would eat right after it.
So we were trying to be as professional as we can this podcast, and what this all ties back into is the idea of how much should a fighter cut weight before it reaches a point of diminishing returns. In my opinion, as a guy who's 140 now, if I were to fight at flyweight, where I would have a size, weight, and height advantage against some of the guys, I would, I think, be doing myself physically and my career a disservice by draining myself like that. I think 135 is perfect because that's really my natural walking around weight. But 90% of top fighters in the world, they don't do that. They want that size advantage. And as shocking as this might sound to think, a fighter who normally walks around at over 215 pounds, a la John Jones, weighs in at 205 on fight night, 24 hours before he defends his belt, and bulks back up, rehydrates him back up to 220 when he's taking on guys in the octagon, is mind-blowing. Not only the fact that he does it, but that his performance doesn't suffer. In fact, he gets so much back from doing that in size and strength that it almost fuels him to do this for the rest of his career. And for a lot of the guys, the same thing. Like, it's very interesting how they can trick their body. It's a very intricate system they do to trick their body into thinking that, I don't know how it works exactly, but they pump themselves up with water days in advance, like overhydrate themselves. So when they sweat all of it out, their body still feels that it is still hydrated or something like that, or that it is still well hydrated. I don't know. But anywho, what are your thoughts on guys who cut weight versus guys who really fight more at their natural weight?
I mean, I remember I had a friend I was training at one time, and he weighed about, I don't remember, I think he weighed about like 145, and he was talking about, oh, I want to cut weight because I want to be bigger than other fighters, I want to have an advantage, right? I mean, me personally, since I haven't really competed in a fight yet, I just was like, I don't care, I'll fight anybody at any weight class. But I guess once I get into it, I think I understand the importance of like, how fighting one weight class will differ from fighting in another weight class. But as of right now, I think, I will just fight at walking weight. I feel comfortable like that. I can't really see myself like trying to cut weight just to fight in a division where, you know, I'm bigger than everybody else. I'd like to think that I could fight in my own weight class, no matter what size other people are. As a matter of fact, I weigh 145, and there are fighters out there who are like 6 feet tall, like weighing at 145. I mean, that's ridiculous.
You know, Jose Aldo walks around closer to 175. Do you know that? You'd be fighting a guy that big in well, that's if you make it to the UFC. Yeah, no, Aldo is huge. Same thing with Renan Barão for their respective weight divisions. He's an animal.
What weight class does he fight in?
Featherweight 145, but he bulks up to over 170 easy, and he cuts out. One of the reasons why some people have said he gasses out towards the end of the fights. You know?
And it's ridiculous. How do you go from 145 to 175?
Like I said, man, they have their way, and it's interesting. Chael Sonnen was on a radio show called Opie and Anthony. I was listening to him, and he was. People were asking him, same thing we are. How do you do this to your body and still survive? And he says, as fighters, there is a secret code that we don't talk about our individual weight cutting methods. It's like a trade secret. Everyone tries to keep that to themselves because not only do they not want other fighters to know about it, but I guess it gives them some personal security, you know? Yeah. Who knows, dude, but that's the way the business runs. But Machida, man, at middleweight, that is his more or less natural weight, and he has so much power. I mean, the fact that he head kicked a guy of Mark Munoz's caliber when Munoz covered it up with his glove hand and still was enough to knock the guy out. I've never seen that before.
Oh, it's more likely to happen in MMA than I think compared to kickboxing. Those gloves are smaller. You will feel the kick more likely. One difference between like kickboxing and MMA is that kickboxing the gloves are much larger, and somebody can throw hooks and you can put your hands up, and just cover up, and you'll be okay. But in like MMA, kicks and punches gets easier, and you can't really like get into the box with somebody when you're fighting in MMA. And you really need to like outstretch your hands more, try to parry the shots rather than just covering up and taking shots like that. So yeah, definitely blocking a shot sometimes isn't enough, and you will get knocked out if there's enough force.
Yeah, that's another thing I kind of think about when I spar is if I wasn't wearing any gloves, there would be so many more openings around my face.
Yeah.
You know, you have to change up your whole game and the way your approach is. You know, John Wayne Parr, he started up his own fight promotion company, and in it, the rules are you fight in a cage, and it's only stand-up. It's kickboxing rules, but they wear those baby 4-ounce gloves. Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
That's very interesting. It really changes the game a little bit. Have you seen any fights of that?
Yeah, he fights. He still fights. He's still slinging at age 38. He's a bad motherfucker.
But he's not fighting in that promotion.
One more time?
He's not fighting in his own promotion that he started.
I've seen him fight in it. I don't know what that's kind of fishy, isn't it? No, he actually fought this guy.
And so my own promotion, I'm gonna sign up all these fighters.
Yeah, one of the rules is you can't kick John Wayne Parr.
You can't kick him. You only pick for like beginners, and he wins the belt every time.
Yeah. And what was interesting is, I have to be honest with you, he didn't dominate the other much more inexperienced and unpolished striker as I thought he would, simply because of those gloves. It became much more of an anxious affair with him. He had to cover up. There were times when he was getting pushed back, and yeah, it is a huge difference, the gloves. But I don't know. Any more thoughts on Weidman, Machida? We still have like 10 more minutes left.
No more thoughts. I'm just excited. I have to go out and see this. I will go out and see this.
Definitely. You know, me and my friend have this running joke how, you know, Weidman's a Long Island guy. Like, as a guy who lives in Queens, do you still feel kind of like a Long Island guy? That's just a general question.
No.
No? No.
Not even
No, I'm no fucking suburban little...
Not even close.
No,
I live by the Met Stadium. So it's like, that's as Queens as it gets. I mean, I don't feel any connection to Long Island. Even though Brooklyn and Queens is technically Long Island.
Now, do you say that proudly, or do you say that with kind of regret?
I don't say regret. No. I look at it differently. It doesn't really bother me. But I mean, I'm part of the five boroughs, and I see Long Island is out there. So I really don't know much about Long Island until I went to Stony Brook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But me and my friend have this running gag how I used to work at TJ Maxx, the local retail shop, and when his fight was coming up against Anderson Silva, I would like shoot the shit with some of the guys that I rung up, and every guy has like a story about him, like how he apparently according to this one guy goes to a local bagel shop called Town Bagel, and the guy in front of me when I'm checking out his socks is going like, yeah, I ran into Chris the other day. He was at Bagel Boss. Yeah, he's like, yeah, you know, he's actually sponsored by Town Bagel up the street over there. You know, on Long Island Expressway. Yeah, he's right over there by this. Yeah, he's, you know. And like I go to get a haircut, and my barber's like, Chris's manager actually comes here every now and then. He's like, he's like, yeah, I just gave Chris Ray Longo a fresh cut this morning. You know. So me and my friend have this joke like how every guy on Long Island has their own personal bullshit story with them. So my friend said, I shined his left shoe once. Yeah, I shined his left shoe once. Yeah, Chris.
Chris left one, not the right one.
So I'm like, you did that. You know, I built Chris Weidman's family a tree fort. I built his family a tree fort. You know. Yeah.
You know, actually, the Stony Brook wrestling team met Chris Weidman.
I don't, please.
Believe?
No, I believe you. But what happened?
I mean, I think they went to like this wrestling conference, and then Chris Weidman was there, and you know, they're from Long Island. He's from Long Island, so they all took a picture together.
That's cool.
I don't know. I think this was right after like the first fight with Silva. So they were like pretty happy.
That's a good time. You know.
Yeah.
What would have been cool for me was if I were to have gotten a picture with him before he became so famous.
Yeah.
You know? Now, let's just talk about one more fight on this card. Ronda Rousey versus Alexis Davis.
Yes, I was hoping you'd get to that. Who do you think is going to get this?
Rousey.
Yeah, Rousey probably. Rousey said that it doesn't matter. Like if she's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, she said at her level now she could like roll with any black belt in jiu-jitsu and win. So she said she doesn't care. She could get the armbar, but she said then again she might be too focused on defending against the armbar. It might be her with striking. But yeah, I think Ronda Rousey got this.
Yeah. You know, the only thing I worry about is if Ronda Rousey hasn't been as focused perhaps lately, because she's juggling a lot of things. She's going to be in the next Expendable. I know she was shooting that. She's going to be the next Fast and Furious. She's essentially become the face of women's MMA, and I'm wondering if that has affected her training in any way.
I was reading on I wasn't reading it. I was watching the interview, and she said that she was really mostly occupied was during a fight with Miesha Tate, and then after Miesha Tate, Sarah Kaufman. And she said that those fights were like she really like was really busy and like torn apart with all her responsibilities with fighting and these movies. And she said that right now it's really the time where she's had the most breaks, and she's really not focusing on movies so much. She's like wrapping it up. And she had more time to like worry about training and getting prepared for this fight. So I guess tomorrow we'll see if it's true.
Yeah, I don't think it'll affect her in any way because she is very disciplined. I mean, is there any other fighter out there, man or woman, who is as intense as her coming out to the ring?
No, I don't think so. I mean, yeah.
Jesus Christ! Like, if you've never seen a Ronda Rousey fight, please do yourself a treat and watch this woman walk down the tunnel with this fucking mad dog look in her face, like she's about to choke a fool. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
She's a problem.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And what do you think about Gina Carano thinking about signing into Zuffa and possibly getting a title match with Rousey? I don't even think Gina Carano stands a chance.
Yeah, man. I mean, think about it, dude. She's been out of the game for a while now, and I love her. You know, I respect her, but I think it's disrespectful for Rousey, against Rousey, to say that she has a sliver of a chance against her. You know?
True.
Yeah, man. That's like, yeah. Like, look at it the other way. You know? Like, that's like, what am I trying to say here? Bottom line is, you're not... Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Exactly. And who did she fight last? Cyborg? And Cyborg, like, handed the ass to her. So it's like...
Jesus.
Ooh, it's true, though.
Hey, Rico, you remember? We might not only can we run into Artem Levin, but we can also run into Gina Carano. What are you going to do, man? One day, we're going to hear all this. They're going to go back to our archives, and they're going to like, what the fuck did you say about me?
I can't. I hope I don't become like the famous like MMA journalist. I'm gonna have a hard time with these people.
I'm trying to think back about all the things you said about some of these fighters, and it's hilarious. Like last time you said how Artem, he does a lot of bobbing and weaving. You better not do that in his Carrera, because he'll lose his head.
He did it.
But alright, to wrap it up, we have a cool 5 minutes. Just talk about what your everyday training consists of, man.
Conditioning. Lots of cardio. So, first 10 minutes is like just non-stop jump rope. This is like a template of the workout. So it was like non-stop jump rope, stop jump roping, shadow boxing. After shadow boxing, gloves on, we'll do punching drills. We'll do punching drills sometimes for like 15 minutes non-stop, just punching drills. Then from the punching drills, we can either go into push-ups or we go into...
Uh-oh. Man. Okay, you're back.
Okay. We'll throw in, kicking drills, punching. We'll take punches to the stomach, and we'll practice on techniques. Depends on the trainer. If we have the one that's like the Muay Thai champion, his name is Hitcher, he'll make us practice our sweeps. So there's really no downtime. So we do this for 1 hour drills to like the full extent. And in between the drills, our breaks are exercises. So in between breaks, we'll do push-ups, we'll do squats, and we'll do sit-ups.
Man, all conditioning.
It is really bad. It's like there are times where like when I'm doing the push-ups, like the last time, after doing like basically close to like 500 punches, the guy tells us to do 30 push-ups, and I couldn't do it. He made us do 10 on his pace, and then he made us do 10 more, and then like the third set, he will make us stop midway between the push-ups, so we like go down and like just hold it.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, so like those times I was like on my knees. So it was really bad, but it's all worth it.
What is your relationship like with your coach? Is there one guy? How is it structured?
We have the I guess he's like the sensei. I mean, he's the head instructor. he's a judo kind. He's like judo is his thing, but he's decent at kickboxing. He owns the spot, right? And if nobody's there, he'll run the kickboxing classes, right? But for the most part, we have this younger guy. His name is Peter. He's Russian. He runs the classes for kickboxing. But the one who really is good with the Muay Thai, his name is Hitcher. And then sometimes most of the time he does the classes. So we have like 3 people we learn from, and they all like rotate. But the younger guys are there more often than the owner. The owner usually just watches.
So if there's anything that you would want to do differently? I'm not saying it has to be, like what would it be? An improvement in this regimen here and there? Like what would you like? Diversification, more contact hitting? Like what would it be?
What the generally needs to improve on is actually working on techniques, because we do a lot of drills, but these drills are conditioning oriented. But when I went to visit American Top Team, I swear to you, I didn't break a sweat working at visiting American Top Team. However, it was clinch week. They had these schedules, and then like 1 week they focused on one aspect. And that aspect, when I came to visit, it was clinch week, and I was working on the Muay Thai clinch and how to control the person and how to break clinch and attack when I break clinch. So that's something that I learned over there that a lot of people that in my gym don't know too much about unless they're preparing for a fight. But like when I was over there, they were like practicing like as part of the regular class, and I really would like to see my gym like focus more on like technique and not conditioning all the time.
But man, it seems like such a gift and a curse. You need great conditioning so that you're gonna even be able to throw your techniques that are refined.
Yeah.
But what's conditioning without technique? It's a means to no end. You know, what are you, like a CrossFit douchebag?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It seems like there needs to be a middle ground.
Yeah, there needs to be a middle ground.
Because let me just say, when I came into spar with you guys, I think one of the things that I was confident in was my conditioning. And it was. Like, I was able to spar the most. In other words, got my ass kicked the most. I took on, one time, 5 guys in a row, and you guys were like, dude, chill. You're going to get, brain trauma. All right? The finals are coming up. Calm down. But,
yeah.
But that's one thing that I had. But what I didn't have was understanding of technique. And the more I watch fighting now, the more those concepts come back to me. Fighting is really a matchup of principles. It's not so much if your hook is better than the other guy's hook and you're both hooking. You know how they say, don't hook with a guy who's a better hooker? Rarely is that the final determinant. It's a matter of solid fundamentals. Like, if you take a guy and he has better footwork, understanding of range, movement, positioning, and defense, chances are he'll beat the other guy who lacks in those areas. I know that's a very, very basic, kind of rhetorical response I'm giving you, but a lot of the times, like what we were trying to do with Weidman and Machida, just trying to base them on their most basic parts, is how you're going to see who the winner is. And I think that's why that's a compelling matchup, is because both guys really nullify each other, negate each other in so many of those core areas. Like when I was fighting you, I was watching the sparring matches back up, and I'm realizing I'm engaging you like I would a heavy bag.
Yeah.
It really is like that. It's really 2 things I'm doing. I'm hitting, moving forward, taking a step back, and coming back in the same direction, in, out, just asking for punishment every time I come in the door. Like boom, 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 exit, boom, and that's how you That's not even how you're supposed to work a heavy bag, but that's the way I was doing it, so it comes out habitually. But my feet were all crossed up. Like when you're fighting an orthodox against an orthodox, you're supposed to. I should have probably said this earlier in the podcast instead of at the end, because no one's listening now. But maybe we'll talk about this some other time. We should just break down their own fighting another time. But that's really interesting to see how it's a game of really principle. Like LeBron, it applies to other things. So LeBron's a great athlete, not just because he's a great athlete or he has a great dunk, but because he knows where to go on the court at the right time. You know what I'm saying? But that's that. Rousey's gonna win. Weidman's gonna win, like we're saying. And last thing, dude. So Ricardo over here, he's gonna record an interview with a guy named Phil Verna this Sunday, who trains at the Watt. And so talk about that, man.
Oh yeah, I remember when he was just a quiet guy, and he was just watching MMA fights. He would have friends over to watch these UFC events at his house. And then one day he just joined Muay Thai. He just joined the Watt. I haven't heard anything from him since that. One day I go on Facebook, I see him winning fights, kicking people in their heads and taking them out. From what I've heard, he had a fight in Washington, D.C., and I'm going to find out more about it. But people are saying that he really made history. Like, he really, like, took this guy out. But I don't know how, so I'm going to go find out tomorrow. But, yeah, he trained at the Y. He trains under Phil Nurse, and he's pretty dope. I mean, I remember when he was just, like, a skinny guy. Now he has, like, a super six-pack. He's jacked up. He's nasty. I wouldn't mess with him. I wouldn't steal his lunch money.
Damn.
But, yeah, I'm going to interview him on Sunday. I'm going to ask him, why he chose Muay Thai or everything. Oh, another thing. Let me go off to a tangent. He said that he sparred with George St. Pierre.
Word?
Yeah, I think George St. Pierre visited the Watt one day, and he sparred with George St. Pierre. This was when he was, oh my God.
Don't worry about it. Man, that's crazy. George St. Pierre.
He sparred with George St. Pierre when he was fighting, this is a long time ago. I forgot who he fought against. But
Koscheck or something like that.
Maybe. I don't remember. I have to get back to you. But it wasn't his era. This is before he started declining. This is like his peak, right? And he sparred with him, and of course George St. Pierre is a little better than Phil, but he said that George St. Pierre was shocked.
Okay.
So I'm gonna bring that up in the interview about his sparring experience with George St. Pierre.
Definitely, that's fascinating. Talk about his fighting style, why he was able to shock GSP.
I'll definitely ask him that.
All right, man. So that's it. I have no more thoughts. This was one of the craziest, most disjointed podcasts. It's only the second one. Like every mistake we made here, we should have made in our debut podcast. So we're smooth sailing from after that. But everything's an opposite now. Yeah. We did all of our winning in our amateur career, and we're doing all of our losing in our professional. Yeah. Okay, dude. Anything else?
Nah, that'd be it. I'm good.
Have fun watching the pay-per-view tomorrow night. Enjoy. Well, 4th of July is technically over after. It's been 25 minutes. So, all right, man. Catch you soon, okay?
All right.
All right,
Peace.
Dude. Peace. And I'm gonna end with LL Cool J. Here we go. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Thank you.
Competition's paying the price.